Hello everyone, this is Deepika Shrivastava from Informatica Data Quality Global Customer Support Team. In today's video, I will be discussing details for scheduler service and its properties. So we will be covering what is scheduler service, how to create the scheduler service properties and advanced properties. So what is scheduler service? Starting from Informatica 10, a new system service is added which is used to schedule jobs is named as scheduler service. The scheduler service manages schedules for profiles, scorecards, deployed mappings and deployed workflows. You can schedule the objects to run on a specific time and interval. The scheduler service is associated with a model repository service. This MRS stores metadata for the schedules that users configure. For scheduler service to run its scheduled objects, both the model repository service and the scheduler service must be in available state. The scheduler service is highly available. High availability enables the service manager and the scheduler service to react to network failures and failures of the scheduler service. If a scheduler service becomes unavailable, the service manager can restart the service on the same node or on the specified backup node. Now moving on to how to create Informatica Administrator console and expand the System Services folder. Click on the scheduler service. Here you will get a model repository service option. Specify the details of the MRS on which you want to run the scheduler service. Specify the username and password. This is the username and password of the MRS. And then once you update the details, we need to recycle the scheduler service. Now moving on to scheduler service properties. The name of the scheduler service cannot be changed as it is a system service, so by default it is named as scheduler service. In the description section you can enter the service description based on your requirements. Node, it is the name of the node on which you want the scheduler service to run. In backup node section you can specify the secondary node. In case the primary nodes is unavailable, the service will fail over to the secondary nodes. Logging options. Logging level, by default it is set to info. It will have all the details except the trace and the debug log details. In order to get more detailed logging while debugging any issues related to the service, we can change it to debug or trace. Debug mode will provide us with the complete information. Since debug mode generates huge amount of logging, it should be reverted back to info once debugging is done. MRS. For model repository service, you need to configure MRS to store information about the schedules. The model repository service must be available for the scheduler service to run scheduled objects. In model repository service, if the MRS is integrated with a version control system, you must synchronize the MRS before you associate it with the scheduler service. Storage. This location is used to store parameter file for deployed mapping and workflows. The file location must be a shared directory among all the nodes. Moving on to next properties. Here for security properties, HTTP port, it's the unique port number for the scheduler service when the service uses HTTP protocol. By default, the port number is 6211. HTTPS port, it's the unique HTTPS port number for the scheduler service process when the service uses HTTPS protocol. When you set an HTTPS port number, you must define the key store file password and trust store file and password. Key store file and password, these are the details of the file that contains the keys and the certificates. Similarly, trust store file and password are the details for the file that contains authentication certificates trusted by the service. SSL protocol, here you need to mention the secured socket layer protocol to be used. By default, the protocol used is TLS. In advanced properties, we can set the JVM options, its maximum heap size, it's the amount of RAM allocated to the JVM that runs the service process specified. This amount will be reserved by the JVM for scheduler service properties. JVM command line options, Java virtual machine command line options that are to be used to run any Java based program. When you configure JVM options, you must set the Java SDK class path variable. In environment variable section, if you want to set any environment variable that is specific to the scheduler service, you can set it here, providing the name of the variable and its associated value, and you must recycle the scheduler service after setting the environment variable. The scheduler service can also be enabled and disabled from the administrator tool itself using this option. We have an option to recycle the service or disable the service. If the service is enabled, you can also enable it from the enable service option. So you can get more details on the scheduler service on in the document referred by the below link. Please feel free to provide your feedback on any of the below listed channels. Thank you.